The Integra nameplate has played a crucial part in making Acura the brand it is today. In the 90s, the Honda engineers demonstrated what they could do with a front-wheel drive platform with the Integra Type R, and now they've come back with this, the new Integra Type S. The Integra comes into the Acura lineup as the replacement for the ILX sedan. That car used to be based on the older Civic, and this one is as well. It is a nice four-door sedan that is good for the family but also sporty. This Type S is based on the Civic Type R, which has been celebrated as being one of the better Hondas that's come out over the years. But what makes it different? Well, the first thing we see is just that it has these wider fenders in the rear and also in the front, along with some very nice 18-inch wheels and some massive brakes. It also has a more aggressive front end that has a lot of extra cooling to cool this very nice new 2-liter turbo VTEC engine that makes 320 horsepower, which is 5 more than the Type R. First thing we see when we look at the rear of this car is just that it has this triple exhaust, which you might recognize from the Civic Type R. It also has this very cool carbon fiber spoiler and a very aggressive rear diffuser. Sitting inside the Integra, we see that we're greeted by this very nice Alcantara wrap steering wheel that makes it very easy to grip and also looks really cool. A fully digital dash and the latest Honda infotainment system with a volume knob, which the previous generation Civic didn't have. We also have this shifter with a shift knob that's reminiscent of the old Honda S2000 and also has a very similar shifting experience. The Integra gets a lot of leather inside because, well, it's a luxury car. And honestly, these seats are very, very comfortable. The seating position is nice. The visibility is not bad at all. And I feel pretty comfy in here. I feel like this is a very nice place to be. Although I don't know if it's worth paying that much more money over the Civic Type R. The Integra is also pretty nice in the back seat. You still get leather back here and some very roomy accommodations for your legs. You are, however, giving up one seat from the normal Integra because that is a 5-seater and this one is giving up that middle seat. And the headroom back here is not exactly the greatest. I'm not that tall and I'm still banging my head up out here a little bit. Although this car may look like a sedan, it's actually a hatchback. If you open it up right here, I reveal a huge trunk and we have all of our camera gear here, and there's still a lot of room to spare. Unfortunately, there is no spare tire, only a tire inflator kit. I want to give a shout out to my man Q the Chaotic. I will leave his channel in the description below. He's the owner of this car and the GR Corolla I reviewed yesterday. And he's been super helpful lending me cars to review for the channel, and he's got a couple of videos of my cars on his channel, so be sure to check him out and like and subscribe to him. For the Cars For Now YouTube channel, please like and subscribe if you like this video and hit the notification bell to be able to see all the videos we have coming in the next few weeks. Have a good one. So we're here driving the new Integra Type S. And the steering is very sharp, which is no surprise because this is based on the latest Type R model. And it also has a lot of torque courtesy of a 2-liter VTEC turbo engine, which is very nice. We're here behind some traffic, so we'll slow down for a bit and see how it cruises. And honestly, it is a very civilized car. The suspension is not harsh at all. It's very well damped, and the steering, even though it's super sharp, has a very consistent feel to it, so it's very easy to keep it straight. The 6-speed manual is very reminiscent of an S2000. It has a very tactile feel and very positive engagement when you do put it in gear. And when you do want to drop gears and rev match, the engine is very rev happy. It also has a lot of power and a very quick response. I just put my foot down for like half a second and I can already tell that we're all the time in the power band. So far, the impression I have from this car is that it's very nice. It has some very direct inputs, some really old school Honda characteristics that are very reminiscent of other Honda cars. Like, it does have torque, but you can tell it kind of builds more power as it revs out, kind of like the old school Hondas, and that is a very cool feeling. I can tell that it is a little bit subdued. I think it's the kind of car that you have to push really hard to be able to enjoy, which we're not going to do here because it's like 22 degrees out. We're on summer tires, and these are public roads. But as a car that you can drive around, it's very good. It has a lot of comfort features. Right now I have the heated seats on. I'm not freezing my ass off, which is really cool. Fortunately, we're behind some traffic, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit until we can get on it. But driving as a daily car, I wouldn't mind having this every day. One thing I can tell you is that for it being the sportiest model on the Acura lineup, of course, right behind the NSX, the engine doesn't sound that great. It has a very muted tone to it, and there's no active exhaust to open up, so you kind of have to live with it. It's very appropriate for a luxury car, but for a sporty sedan, I kind of wish it was a little bit louder, because these K20 engines really have a good tone to them, but this one's just really muted. So we're coming into some turns here, and we might be able to get on it a little bit. Let's see how it does. Just throwing it into a corner right here. And yeah, this thing sticks like glue. Has some really quick turning. Even if I turn the wheel really gently and don't throw the car into the corner, it still pulls me in. Like, the turning is insanely quick. And this transmission is very engaging. I have the owner of the car, Q from the Q the Chaotic channel. Shout out to them. Go like and subscribe to his channel. He lent me this car for this review. I'll leave the link in the description below. But he's following me in my own S2000, and I think the biggest tell of the Honda heritage and DNA in this car is just the shifter feels almost exactly the same. It even has kind of the same shift knob, and this clearly has a lot more torque than that car, and the power band is a lot flatter, but the way the inputs work is very familiar to me, which is really interesting, because this is easily like a 21 years of Honda development, and they're still making cars that have that same classic Honda feel, which is awesome. Let's take it through some more corners here. Whoa, wheel spin. Yeah, and it's a car you have to rev out to really bring out the power in. Even though you do have the torque down low, above 5,000 RPM is where it's at. That's where you get the more torque, the better sound, and just that very quick response from the pedals. Now this is individual mode. We're gonna switch it into Sport Plus mode and see how it does. And immediately I can tell the suspension is a lot stiffer. And it does hunker the car down, but when you go over bumps, you feel yourself. You can probably see in the camera I'm getting thrown around a little bit here. But man, these brakes, oh my god. This thing can stop. It's got some stopping power to it. And the rev matching is awesome. I really like that. Really like that rev matching. We're here at a stop sign. So far, I've been driving this car for a bit. We're here at a stop sign, and The sport mode is a little bit too bouncy for me, so we're putting it back in sport. See if that fixes the suspension somewhat. And oh boy, wheel spin. And these front wheel drive Hondas have this character to them. If you make them torquey with a turbo like Honda's doing lately, you get this wheel spin, which makes the car feel a lot more powerful than it actually is. Although this thing is quick, it has 320 horsepower. But it's a fun experience, being able to just spin the tires whenever you want. And this chassis, even though we're not pushing it at all here, you can tell it's almost German-like in how stable it feels through the corner, because you can turn the wheel in and you can hold a line really easily with barely any input. Got a brake here. Let's get going again. There we go. Yeah, this thing's got some power to it. It's got a very nice character too. It's a fun little car. Really nice daily. I wouldn't mind driving something like this every day. Although I think I would probably opt for the Type R just because I can save myself a little money. Haven't really driven one, but I'm suspecting it is pretty similar. And although this is a very nice interior, which we'll talk about later, I don't know if I would pay as much as Honda's or Acura is asking for this car. The Integra is a very nice car, and this Type S version is really, really cool. It is, however, missing some spice. The exhaust, for example, is too quiet for my tastes. There's also another problem, the existence of the Civic Type R, which is basically the same car, but about 5 to 7 grand cheaper. If I really, really wanted leather interior and a little bit more luxury, I could opt for the Integra, but for me, who I would probably just want the practicality and being able to take it to the track, I'd probably pick the Civic Type R.